the El Clasico of Ulster football this weekend, not in the Ulster Championship. How much are you looking forward to that this weekend, Armagh?
Yeah, look, it's one of the games. I would say the Armagh players are the same. There's that rivalry between the two counties. It was back in like 2003 and 5 in them years. So hopefully over the next few years it's coming back. And it's another one to look forward to.
What do you remember of 2005?
A good bit. It's I barely remember last year. Never mind 2005 and 3. I can remember 2003, the free kick Canavan hit against Armagh. I was at that there, so I can remember that there. And then 2005, I actually remember 2003 better than 5. So, but I know they were good games.
Do you remember how you felt at that point, seeing Tyrone get over the line for the first time?
Yeah. Well, I actually didn't get to the final. I got to the semi-final. But I was in the auntie's house in Aglish, and I can just remember. I think I was just running about the house. All my ones were down. It was just even great for the county. Whenever you got that first one, and it just gives you that wee bit of hope that there is more in the future.
Speaking of the Canavans, has Rory been in training with you yet?
Yeah, he has. He's another one that we'll have to try mark. It'll be difficult.
Which of the two Canavans is harder to mark?
I don't know. They're both exceptional. They're different types of players, and they both have their own threats. So, no, the two of them, they're not nice marking either of them.
So does he only come in a couple of weeks ago now after the 20s season finishes, or had he been in and around all year?
No, so him and 3 others, Michael McLean, Niall Devlin and Steve Donaghy, have all come in after the under-20s. So they've given us a wee bit of a lift. It was great seeing them winning, and has given us a wee bit of lift in training. They're pushing us on and making it more competitive, so it's great to have them in.
McLean looks like he's overage for senior.
He's a monster now. No, he's massive, and he's skillful too. So he's another asset to Tyrone. It's just great to have him on board with us.
From your own perspective then, even not just inside in training, but when you look at all the different players that you've marked this season and could potentially mark before the end of this season, how much do you relish that opportunity of the different sorts of players, the different sorts of styles of attack that you come up against, and how much can you actually get used to that as you get older and more wiser in your intercounty career?
Yeah, it's great. It's great even being able to compete against them. And it's a challenge obviously for me, Paddy, and Ron McNamee in the full back line, that we're always kind of looking at who's going to be there. But we have massive challenge with the Armagh forwards this weekend. So look at the season. We've marked some great players already this year. But we'll have three in the full forward line for Armagh. That's going to be a handful at the weekend, and we're taking it one game at a time. But we'll just worry about the 3 that Armagh pick.
You don't have to reveal who you're going to be marking, but how do the 3 of you generally divvy it up? Is it physicality? Is it pace? Is it quality?
It just really depends. I'm lucky enough I kind of get the job that if somebody is kind of playing further out, I can go further out and maybe run up the pitch a wee bit more. Don't know if the other 2 be too happy about it, but we'll deal with that. But no, it's more picked if we maybe see the team before or something, like it's whoever Fergal or Brian will tell us. Was
it hard the week after the Derry match?
Yeah, it was disappointing. It's been disappointing basically every week since it. Even watching it at the weekend, it's good to have another team competing in Ulster and get it. It's competitive, but obviously we want Tyrone to be winning. But it is hard whenever you lose anything. It's hard. I would say Dublin were the same last year watching us. I would say they were second watching us win it. So no, it's just if your county doesn't win, you're not really going to be too happy, are you?
Yeah, absolutely. How do you manage to get that right then before Armagh this weekend? I assume that as players who've won in All Ireland, your management don't actually need to tell you too much about what went wrong. When you look at the scoreboard, you know that it wasn't a great day at the office. So are they hard on you, or do they go a little bit easy on you, or how do they manage to build that confidence back up before this weekend?
It has to be player driven as well. Like the managers can tell us what to do and give us the instructions and everything, but if we don't go out on the pitch and perform, like against Donny or against Derry. We didn't perform to what we would have. We were given the instructions and all. It was all planned out. We had prepared right, but it was just on the day. The players, it relies on the players. They're the ones on the pitch. So, look, we know what we need to do. Armagh, as I've said, they've beat us twice already this year. They beat us convincingly in the league. They had a very good start. They're very fit. They're physical. And we know the challenge. And we can't look ahead of Armagh or anything. We will have to get the performance right to even compete with them.
That game, the league was a nice friendly one, wasn't it?
Yeah, so something like that. No, look, it was one of them games that, look, the four boys, and I'd say Greg McCabe was probably the same. Like he felt they let the team down. We just felt we let our team down. And even maybe give Tyrone a bad look, but it's one that both teams I'd say have learned from. Like.
Finally, then, are you kind of easing yourself in or feel more comfortable in the role as a leader in this team now? Obviously, there's been a few people who stepped away from the squad, a few experienced players. You mentioned there that it's a player-led environment when things aren't at their best in the camp. So, as somebody who's been around the panel now for a few years, do you find yourself slotting into the leadership shoes a bit easier?
Look, if there's something to be said, I don't think much boys would have any issue saying it. Like, it's to benefit each other. So if somebody needs to talk to somebody, they will. It doesn't matter what age or how long they've been there. Like the under-20s, if they see something from watching us earlier in the year and they're only in, we'd take it on board. But there's still the likes of Niall Morgan, McNamee, Potty, Matty Donnelly, all them older boys that have been about and know a lot more than me probably.
So how many Canavans are we going to see on the pitch this weekend?
I don't know. That's not my choice.